This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Excited. We are back with Megan Basl. Excited to bend your nutrition and so much more. She's our functional nutrition and natural wellness expert and so much more, helping people of all ages naturally improve their health and heal their body from the inside out with the use of whole foods, designed clinical nutrition and functional lab testing. But I'll have Megan do the honors and introduce herself. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Good morning. Hi, I am Megan, and yes, I am a functional nutritionist, and I specialize in helping people with all kinds of issues, but mainly specializing in chronic digestive issues and food sensitivities. Love helping
Beautiful.
people get to the bottom of their health issues.
And where are you based out of, darling?
I am in Sublimity, Oregon is where I live, and I have an office in Staten, Oregon, which is very, very close to Sublimity. Oh,
I
think
feel
we
like it's
lost.
stuck. There you go.
There you go.
My mic wasn't working. There we go. Well, excited we're back. We've had some great conversations, and obviously we're going to talk more about our dysfunction, our health, and what's going on. So, what is going on for like all these stressors in our lives? So, let's talk a little bit about what major stressors are we encountering that lead to this dysfunction in the body and poor health overall.
Yeah, that's a great topic. We have all kinds of stressors that we encounter in our lives, right? It can be environmental toxins. We have the diet, which is an issue. We have immune challenges, food sensitivities. And so I kind of wanted to go through some of those to give people an idea of what to look for when we're thinking about what is causing our body not to function or heal properly. So, the first thing we kind of think about is diet, right? And there's so many processed foods now. Unfortunately, the food industry makes it very convenient to just grab and go. And these foods, unfortunately, are not healthy for us. And so they're doing more harm than good. It's not really good fuel for the body. So that's something to think about when people are looking at their diet. Like, am I eating too many processed foods? Um, Also things like refined white flour products. Your pasta, your breads, pastries, cookies, chips, crackers, things like that. Too much of that food is not healthy for us either. It can mess with blood sugar, cause some weight gain. And so that's something that people really should evaluate if they're having a diet heavy in those foods. Sugar, sugar is in everything. And so we really want to not have tons of sugar in the diet. And sugar is sugar. So we have, kind of better sugars and then sugars that are worse for us. But in general, being mindful of the amount of sugar we get in. And unfortunately, again, the sugar is in a lot of those packaged foods. And so people are not necessarily realizing how much sugar they're intaking every day. And then we have things like bad oils. So a lot of the seed oils in products, you can find that in salad dressings and usually things like chips and crackers. And they're pro-inflammatory, so they're adding inflammation to the body, which is not something we want. So the body has to work harder to process out these gunky foods, and it can cause symptoms for people as well. So that's definitely one of the things we look at is diet. One of the other things is food sensitivities.
But could I just ask one quick question first about these processed foods? What is a
Yeah,
processed food exactly? Not everybody really knows what processed food even is. And because I think we just see it at the supermarket and it's okay. Can you just
yeah,
explain, just break that down?
yeah. So usually it's like a packaged food or food that has been refined. So it's, gone through some processing of taking out the nutritional value. And so you think of like white flour and wheat flour. Well, they've taken when they make the white flour, they've bleached it and they've taken out a lot of the good benefits from the wheat, and so you have this refined product. And so it's removing the nutritional value, and then it's heavily manufactured. So there's engineers in the food industry that their job is to make food taste good. And so they figure out how to do that through their engineering processes. And it makes us want the food, and it hits receptors in the brain that make us crave it, make us want it. So anything packaged really is technically processed, but there's certainly healthier foods out there that are still processed, but are a healthier option. Like say, baked apple chips, for example, that's going to
Mm-hmm.
come in a bag. So it's processed, but it's still a healthier option than eating, like potato chips.
No, no, absolutely. Got it, got it. Because it's like, oh, I'm eating potatoes. No, it's soaked in oil. It's soaked in this. And my kids don't understand that, the processed foods. It's just like, they don't. And as kids, as parents, I'm supposed to be the role model, helping them when we go to the supermarket and they see all the fun boxes and the cool things. And it's like, yeah, it's scary. Okay, sorry to digress, but I needed to do that. Thank you.
Yes, no, I agree. And it is hard because they make it super convenient, and a lot of those foods are also inexpensive. So when people, are struggling financially, it's an easy thing to get these packaged foods. So,
Mm-hmm. Got it. All
yeah.
right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And where were we heading to next?
So food sensitivities, we've talked about this in some of the previous episodes, but Um, I mean, so many people have food sensitivities these days, and they can develop at any time in life. And basically, it creates inflammation in the body, and that can present as any symptom in the body. So for some people, it might be skin issues. For other people, it's digestive issues. For other people, it's joint pain. So it can really be anything. And we're more likely to be sensitive to the foods we eat the most.
Got it.
So the things we eat every day, eventually your body could develop a sensitivity to those foods. So those can be evaluated through, doing things like an elimination diet, but also doing lab testing, like the testing that I do can help people determine exactly what foods are causing that inflammation and those uncomfortable symptoms. Let's see here. So, other things to think about, like our habits. Just digestively, we don't necessarily have the best habits to support digestion. So digestion actually begins in the brain when we see food and
Really?
we
I thought
smell.
it was fiber, right? I thought, wait, hold on. Digestion begins in the brain. Now I'm confused about this. I didn't know this.
Yeah, so when we see food and we smell food, that signals information from the brain to the rest of the body saying, hey, food's going to come in soon. Let's get those digestive juices flowing. So we want those digestive juices to be present. So when the food does come in, it can help break down our food and properly digest our food. So things that can hinder that process are eating too fast, which many people do that. I have a lot of clients that are like, oh yeah, I'm the first one done from the table.
Mm-hmm.
So eating too fast can hinder that. Not chewing enough, that's another big one.
Got it.
If people are like bloated and gassy after eating, they probably weren't chewing their food enough. And then eating while standing can be a big one too. So if you're eating in a hurry, eating while standing, the body isn't in a rest and digest state. So sitting puts our body in that rest and digest state, also known as a parasympathetic state. When we're standing and we're in a hurry, we're in a sympathetic state, which is our fight or flight state. So the body's going to care less about digesting and more about the fight or flight and what's going on around us. And so it's really important to practice those habits to get your body to process food appropriately.
Hmm. Now, hold on. I do want to ask about, they do say it takes, is it 15 minutes for the brain to register that you're full?
That's a good question. I don't
Like,
know that I've ever.
I've heard something. I told my son that the other day because he's like, I want another waffle. I'm like, waffles are bad. I'm like, but fine, have a waffle. Then he's like, I want
Yeah.
another one. But I'm like, no. And then I'm thinking, someone as a kid told me that it takes like 15 minutes by the time the signals to your brain to tell you that you're full. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I'll have to look that one up. But I know, like, I'll tell clients, put your fork down between bites because then that allows your body to process things. So you can decide like, well, you can allow your body to get those digestive juices flowing, but also, you can at some point you put your fork down, you're like, hey, I'm actually full. So it allows you to not be in a rush, and you can listen to your body's signals at that point. So yeah, that's a good thing to think about. I mean, I tell people try to eat until you're 80% full, not like overstuffed, because then when we're overstuffed, we don't feel great. So,
No, it's so
um,
true.
yeah.
Well, what are the things should we be doing to help the process out and help our body function?
So, thinking about environmental toxins, like we have so many environmental toxins that we're exposed to, and some of that we can't avoid. We can just be as intentional as we can with it. But, some people have professions and jobs where they are exposed to environmental toxins. And so that, wearing masks and gloves and doing what you can to avoid that. But some of the things we can do at home are like looking at our personal care products, um, cleaning products, things like that. Um, it took me a long time to change my personal care products when I got into the health and wellness world, and I just did one at a time. And it's a process, and it can be really overwhelming. But even changing one thing out at a time when you run out of the current product, if it's a dirty product, then that can be really helpful for your health, because a lot of those products can actually disrupt your endocrine system, um, and cause all kinds of health issues. So one thing that people can look at is there's the Environmental Working Group. It's an amazing group, and they have an app that's called Healthy Living, and you can actually scan your products, and it'll tell you how clean or dirty they are. So I did that with all of mine, and figured out which products I needed to toss and which ones were okay. So that's a really good thing to look at for long-term health.
Interesting. All right. Well, hold on. I got to remind everyone who we're talking to. Megan Basl. By the way, just a little bit of your background for those that do not know your certifications and all. It's always good to hear.
Yes, a functional nutritionist, and working with clients who have all kinds of health issues. I can work with clients virtually and in person, and we specialize in digestive issues, food sensitivities, but really any health condition I can support.
Got it. Well, also, you're working virtually with people, and I would love to hear a story too about how you're helping someone with poor gut health, with their digestion. Could you just share a story or two of how you've helped someone really heal properly the right way and now they're functioning so much better? Or maybe it's
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, I've had clients that have had, let's just say bowel urgency, to where they're afraid to leave their house because they're afraid they're going to have to use the bathroom on the way to their destination. And so, that's really, it creates anxiety and stress for people. And so, figuring out why is their body struggling with that? What is causing that imbalance to where, they're needing to go to the bathroom so frequently. So really I can do that through digestive testing, and that's evaluating their body through a stool test. And then looking at also pairing that with a food sensitivity test, because as I mentioned earlier, food sensitivities can cause digestive issues for people, among other symptoms. And so trying to figure out, are food sensitivities part of the picture? And typically they are for most people. So um, I've had clients that, they had that bowel urgency, and after working with me, and it takes time for the body to heal, but once we know what the triggers are, once we know what the stressors are on the body, some of the stresses we're talking about, we can help the body heal and correct itself. And so, clients that are able to go out to restaurants and eat because they don't have to worry about having to use the bathroom, or driving to a destination, not, clocking where every rest stop is. It's a big relief for people. They can travel, they can, like I said, go out to eat with friends and family and not be stressed about it. And so it's amazing to be able to be a part of that journey for people and help them have a easier life and better life.
On a daily basis, though, is it I hear, we're supposed to be eating rough greens or leafy greens. What are the best things to help with the digestion process? And what is the truth about fiber? And can we take a fiber supplement? I have so many questions because for someone who doesn't go regularly, I feel like my digestion tract is a little messed up. How do we fix that? Or that's
So,
all gut. That's a whole different story.
oh yeah, yes, there's so much we can do to help fix the gut, which you and I really need to talk about your gut because I would love
Yes.
to help you.
I got to send you my whole files, all my pictures and oh my God, it's horrible. But go ahead. Thank you for
Oh,
remembering.
yes, yes. Fiber is great. Fiber is what helps the body, yes, with elimination. So like people that have constipation. But in general, our body doesn't digest the fiber. That is for the bacteria in our gut. And so when we eat foods with fiber, so you mentioned like leafy greens, the the body is going to use up those nutrients for sure, but the fiber is going to go to the critters in our gut and the good bacteria. And so that's going to feed them. And then when they get fed the fiber, they are going to produce beneficial things for us, like vitamins, and something called short chain fatty acids, which then protect our gut lining, help boost our immune system. So, fiber is hugely important in the diet, especially when people have gut issues. Um, and some people, I think we've talked about this before too, have trouble with fiber when they have digestive issues. And that could be for many reasons. Some of it could be, we've talked about SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Some people have that in the small intestine and they can't tolerate fiber very well. So we need to clean up that mess before we add in too much fiber. Other people that have severe digestive issues struggle with eating fiber because their gut is kind of impaired, and so eating like raw vegetables can be hard on their digestive system because our gut doesn't have teeth, and so we need to kind of help the body learn how to break it down better before we add in the real rich fiber foods. So just supporting that digestive function before we add in things that could make it harder for the body to process.
Hmm. Oh my gosh. So much to think about. And what else now? With digestion, I think about food, but what about the liquids we're putting into our body? How important is the liquid we're putting in, like water, I'm assuming? What, goes with the digestion process? Should we be drinking so much water? Like, what else should we be drinking? Do we drink teas? What's the best thing for us?
So water is the best. I mean, really, the general
Okay.
guideline is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water each day, which seems like a lot for some people. So if people, I mean, I've had clients that they drink like one 12-ounce bottle of water a day. And so for them, I'm not going to say, okay, tomorrow start drinking half your body weight. Their body's gonna be like, what
Yeah.
the heck are you doing to me? So I'll tell them, let's work up. Maybe let's double that. Let's start with that and stay consistent. And then from there we slowly build. So really you want to try for half your body weight in ounces of water. If you drink over a gallon a day, I really don't recommend that unless you're replenishing with electrolytes, because you can flush out your electrolytes if you drink over a gallon. So you really want to replenish with an electrolyte supplement, or like I'll have clients put a pinch of sea salt in their water, and then you can get some of the electrolytes from the salt. But really, you have to be mindful of that. And then
Interesting.
if people drink like sugary drinks, like soda, caffeinated drinks, like coffee or tea, so anything sugary, anything caffeinated, anything with alcohol, those are diuretics. So they're going to
Oh,
dehydrate you.
okay.
So you actually need to drink more water when you drink any of those beverages as well.
Interesting. All right. Well, because I know a lot of times now here I am sipping on my second cup of coffee for the day, not realizing, yeah, okay, not the best thing in the world for us, is it? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. But with,
Well, a little bit is okay.
and hold on, doesn't sleep play an important part in our digestion as well?
Yeah, I mean, sleep is when the body heals and repairs. So in general, getting quality sleep, ideally, I think they say like 7 to 8 hours. Um, you want quality sleep. So you may sleep for a long time and get the hours in, but is it quality? And so, I always ask people on their intake forms, how well do you sleep? Do you feel rested when you wake up? Do you wake up in the middle of the night? Because all of those things can hinder that quality of sleep, or give me indications that maybe they're not sleeping the best, even though they're getting the
Hmm.
hours in. So
I hear
yes,
you.
sleep
Yeah,
is huge.
I feel the best in the morning when my stomach's flat, everything's mostly digested, right? It's just such a good feeling. And what about for digestion? Are those of us that want to eat late at night, remind us, not a good thing?
Not a good thing. I mean, ideally 3 hours before you go to bed is when you want your last meal. Um, when you when you eat too late at night, the food's gonna, kind of hang out in there, and yes, your body's still gonna process it, but it's a little bit harder on the gut. And then you your body kind of does a clean sweep through your gut at night. It sweeps the food out of the small intestine into the large intestine so you can wake up and have a bowel movement in the morning. And so if you eat too late, it's just putting more burden on the gut and, not allowing your digestive
Got it.
system to rest.
Got it, which we need to. All right. So we still got 3 more minutes left in the show, Megan. How else did you want to explore this and explain to people why they should explore the benefits of working with you, I should say?
Well, if anybody is really struggling, like a lot of the clients that come to me have been to all their doctors and, seen specialists, and no one can tell them what's wrong, or everybody tells them, hey, you're fine. I mean, I've had clients tell me that their doc said, it's all in your head. Just, maybe go see a psychologist and talk about these issues. People that have the bowel issues, right? The urgency, and the doctors are like, well, you probably just have IBS. Go see a counselor to figure out why you're stressed. And
Ditto.
it's like, no, there's something else going on. And so they come to me and we figure out what is going on inside the body. Let's get a blueprint of what's causing your body not to function well, and then let's heal it. Let's correct these imbalances. Let's get it to function better. And so that's really what I do, and I love what I do. I love investigating and trying to figure it out, and then helping people, coaching them around the diet. And, I mean, correcting the body is hugely important, but the diet, the things we ingest every day, you can eat the best diet in the world, but if you're not digesting well, that food's not going to do anything for you. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's going to do something for you, but it's not going to do as much for you as if you were properly digesting. And so
Perfectly said.
making sure that you do eat healthy, quality food, and that your body is digesting well. And so pairing all of that together and helping people on their health journey is what I love.
All right.
And
Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say, I always like to teach people a lifestyle way of eating, so then they can carry those habits in the future, and then they don't need me anymore. They have the tools in their toolkit, and they can go on with their lives and live their best life.
All right. Thank you so much, Megan. How can we reach out to you?
You can reach me on my website, bendyournutrition.com. You can also email me directly at Megan, Megan, at bendyournutrition.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Great having you here. Great topics, and looking forward to the next time we connect. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you so much, Jill. You too.
Thank you, Megan. Bye bye.
Uh-huh.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.